Hello, yes. What is this year's intake in HIT Shenzhen? Four digits, like maybe at least 1,000 people. But based on what I heard from current students, maybe like I guess 1,000 to 1,200 to 1,300 all intakes this year. Nanjing Tech University, 1 minute. Second, because sometimes I need to go through it. So basically, this Nanjing Tech University is like, I think it's okay. It's not a group. If a university is in 211 project, it means that it's okay. But this Nanjing industry is not in 211 project, which means that, well, it is a real school. It might also be good in certain ways, but not the top universities in China. If you apply for scholarship right now, the time you still have about 1 month because most of the universities' application officially ends in June. But I have to remind you that for some universities, that they do follow first come first serve basis. So even if you apply now, the scholarship quota might have already been filled. Exactly what I don't actually know. I once did an interview with a student from City University saying that this applies to them, but I'm not sure about it. Uh, so overall, like it's not that late, but if you really want to apply, you must finish everything in 2 weeks because most of the schools close their application at May the 30th, and you don't want to apply to the very last moment. If you got the scholarship, well, if you got a scholarship, it's good. And if you have no other options, you can just choose it if you don't have any other options. Yes, it's mid tier, kind of like it. Can you be arriving in China for the student discount? Mm, it varies. Like if you are in a school with many international students, they are very likely to have a special kiosk or maybe a special store with the China Mobile Unicom guys there who help you with the whole process. So if your school has a lot of international students, you can use your admission notice or maybe your student card to have your discount. I also recommend you to have an eSIM available because when you arrive in China for the first few days, you find it very difficult to get connected because first of all you don't have your mobile phone plans, and secondly because you also need a VPN service. So basically, it depends on which school you're applying for. You can also check the eSIM card services there. If you had your document ready since you applied to HIT Shenzhen and took the entrance, what are the units you can put in backup for CS majors? How many you should apply for? Normally, like because you apply for literally all universities, you still have to pay the application fee. I don't recommend people to apply for more than 5 universities unless they're not so certain about anything. So maybe you can apply for another 4 universities, and good universities, there are a lot of them. You can check our university directory for free. You would know some of the schools that may still open to application right now. Yes, I see 2 questions. I saw a YouTube video finish on registration day. Yes, yes. Um, during the registration day, there will be one. But if you must arrive early, uh, I'm not really sure about this part. But since most of the students, when they first arrive in China, they might just have temporary, disposable SIM card. If I don't know if China still has it right now, or maybe just hang on there with some free Wi-Fi the first few days, and then they would go to the kiosk and have their SIM cards. But if you really want to just have it earlier, I suggest you also ask your school to see if they have any providers, or maybe ask other students who might also know about this detail, because I'm not so sure about this one. Like no, most of the students might just have it during the registration day. Or maybe you can just buy a temporary one at the airport. I think they also have it at the airport. Or maybe try, some other service providers. Sometimes service providers like Trip.com, they might just also have the sorry, these temporary SIM cards. Yes, you need to book the hotel, because you can also use the same link for Trip.com, because the problem is very obvious. HIT Shenzhen, based on my source of information, many of the students don't have dormitory because there's too many international students. So if you apply for school with many international students, it is very likely that you don't even have a dormitory to live if you don't act fast enough. And the dormitory is not available sometimes if you come too early. Like they need during the summer vacation or maybe the winter vacation, they might not open. So if you come too early, they might not even open to you. Best thing is you can book a hotel earlier from your home country. And oh yeah, another thing, just to remind you that some Chinese universities have curfews for dormitory. Like most of the good universities, they don't have it, but some average ones, they might have curfews. So if your flight delay, like you arrive in the middle of the night, you can only go to a hotel. The safest option is to book a hotel. We have a link here, so Trip.com. You can just use it to check your cheap hotel options in China, sometimes with discounts as well. SCUT scholarship is not that difficult to get, but you need to make sure that you have a good CSA score, you have a good overall background. Like I would say, it's not so easy for all scholarships. It's not so easy right now, but as long as you have a good background, it's not that difficult to. Hi, if you can study means move to another country. Uh, well, it's complicated. You can study. I don't think it's actually I don't think it's that possible. If you want to, like, if you want to move to another country, your whole application thing would start over again. In almost all cases, I don't think they have things like continue your study in other countries unless you go for an official exchange program or something. But if you just want to start again in a new country, you have to start all again in most cases. Yeah, if you don't support SIM card, you can check the trip.com to see if there are any temporary SIM card. Or maybe if they don't have any, you can also arrive at the airport and buy one from the airport or airport place. But if your plane arrives very late, I recommend you to also buy it before departure so that you can just collect them. Let me show you one. I don't know. Maybe they have one in China. Yeah, they do have mainland China SIM cards and sort of things on trip.com, so you can use it. Yeah, you can search. You can go through the link I sent you earlier, and then you can search the keywords like China SIM card, etc. I think it'll be more like temporary and for tourists. So maybe you buy one for like a week or so, and because you have so many tourists in China, so they have something to support it. Yeah, I thought about it, but now it seems that they also have China Unicom stuff. You have, I saw one link with 7 days, 15 days, or 30 days. So the price may vary, but if you can't just be there and like have 7 days, kind of like a bundle, and then when it expire, you just transform it to your new, longer, longer package. BITS and Nanjing Uni good backup option for CA. Yes, they are very good. And the nationality does not matter in your case. Morocco is is does not have any trouble, you know, uh, in I think for applying to these schools. And for background, you need to make sure if the schools accept the Duolingo score. Sometimes they do, sometimes they do not. You need to check with them. But the CSA score is okay, so I don't think, like overall, if they accept the score, these are good options. You, well, for working as a student, officially it's not allowed, and I don't. Well, first of all, I don't recommend you to do anything offline. So, for example, if teaching stuff offline, in a physical location, that's something I would not recommend you to do because you might just get called or maybe reported. And even if you're gonna do things online, I don't recommend you for doing this because this also against the rules. But if you really want to do it, you do it without catching people's attention. I don't recommend you still. They will not. They don't have time to do this, and they will not. But like if like honestly, if someone reports you, they might pay attention. So make sure that you don't, you make more friends instead of causing troubles. But still, the problem is that if someone reports you. No, it will not cause any issue. So no worries about it. About VPNs, I don't recommend you now. All of the VPNs, I mean, some of them are still usable, but it's too early to talk about it because sometimes they do have some crackdowns on certain software. So even if it's using smoothly right now, it might still cause problems uh, because you still have 3 months ahead. So you can come back and see if they have any recommendations like 2 to 3 months later. And also, some of the schools may have building VPN systems for their internal network for researching purposes. So it really depends. Honestly, like, wait, 60, 85, GPA 93%. Um, so for many of the people who have already got a scholarship, they share similar backgrounds. So I think the you have to move very quick because scholarship quota are, you know, rather small. So yeah, yeah, just um yeah, so quota is limited. Okay, so here's a link for the SIM card stuff. I think there is one, but you have to pick it up at the airport place. eSIM cards are more convenient, but sometimes if you want physical SIM card, and also for this one, I think you have to be your plane. I mean, your flight must not be like a midnight flight. So if you arrive, it's too late. Maybe they're off work, but you can try this link. I think they have a physical one there. Taxes? Well, as a student, you don't need to pay any tax because you don't really have a work. You're studying. So for China, you don't pay tax to them. But getting monthly expense from your parents, honestly, like you like it. I don't really know. Oh, there's a thing that I gonna remind all of you if you're listening. So if you send money to China, there are many ways. Like you can use bank transfer, but sometimes bank transfer costs you a lot of money, and also procedure and the time is also very torturing. You have to wait like a two to 3 weeks sometimes. You can also use Wise. Wise can give you some, shorter waiting time, and also the price is cheaper. So one time maybe just like much cheaper than Swift. Swift is like bank transfer. So this is an alternative. Yeah, use 7-day roaming, and yeah, this is possible. Yeah, this is a good strategy. So just make sure that when you arrive at the airport, you but I doubt if they have, because airport kiosks are more likely for tourists, because if you're a student, they might have student package, but they might not be responsible for it. But yeah, you can buy a roaming package first and then wait for a few days and then just come to the school to switch it to the discounted ones if there's any. Yes, you can apply to masters without going back. And the procedure, if you mean visa procedure, is not so difficult. Once you have a real application, um, you know, have a pre-admission stuff, and I think you also need to fill the, what do they call it? Yeah, JW form, etc. Once you get all these files, it's not difficult to apply for. We're also going to make a video explaining how to apply for visa, but mostly for student. It will not be released it will be released in probably a week or so. No, Chinese passport is very difficult to get, so you will not have one. Um, Even if you pass the bachelor and the master, you still need to work in China for like a few years to get residence permit. But for passport and nationality, it's very difficult to get. Well, green card in China, we have something like residual or residence permit, but it's mostly for people who have been doing businesses or working in China. So if you studied in China, you finish your master's degree, I think you still need to have a job here to land one. And so if you can't find a job here, and also you need to find an employer who's willing to give you these sorts of procedural helps, or maybe you just self-funded a business, but it's possible. You well, driver's license, right? I don't think China admits international driver's license, but you might need to pass the driver's exam in China again. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this, um, but yes, once you pass everything, you can still have a driver's license. And the get a driver's license in China is not very difficult, except the language barrier. But they do have some apps for foreigners to learn how to drive in China, mostly traffic rules. You will so basically you pass the exam and you'll be fine. You'll have a driver's license and drive just like anybody else. No, it's fake. It's definitely fake. It's honestly, it's more like from Western propaganda. I don't really want to use the word, but it's definitely fake. For example, like in China, we have really religious, different religions, Buddhism, Christianity, Islamism. Like all of them can practice it freely. But well, we have mosques, we have temples, we have churches in major cities, and also I think we have like 20 million, 30 million or more, maybe more Islam or Muslims. And during like uh what do you call it, at Mubarak, right? At the Mubarak, we have, well, the local mosques in all major cities, they would also do these celebrations. And you would also find many halal restaurants. Most are opened by, in major cities, you find the Middle East cuisine, you find Turkish cuisine, but you would also find, Uyghur people. They do beef noodle, they do barbecue, they do all sorts of their own cuisine, halal cuisine. So I generally think that this is not a problem at all. But the only slight issue is that when you choose your roommate, you live in a dormitory sometimes. Just make sure that your roommate has similar lifestyle as you, or sometimes you maybe find, sometimes people might just have different lifestyle. It's not good. Some universities allow you to choose your roommate, others may not. So make sure that you put your concern to your school if possible. But overall, it's definitely not a problem. Yeah, thank you for your time. Have a nice day.